Hello, this is MIT OpenCourseWare-centric Wiki World University and Schools monthly business meeting on Saturday, December 16th, 2023 at 12 noon Eastern Time, 9 a.m. Pacific Time. This is a monthly business meeting loosely conducted in the manner of Quakers, Friends, which is open and consensus and listening oriented, and where World University and School conducts its business as we seek to grow in all 200 countries and in their main languages for free online MIT OpenCourseWare-centric WUAS degrees, Bachelor, PhD, Law, Medicine, Ivy High School, or similar AAAS, two-year undergraduate degree, or master's degrees, again, in all 200 countries in their main languages, and in all 7,168 known living languages as wiki schools, building communities of people, along with large language models. So in that this is open, people may join us in the middle of monthly business meeting here in this video call. And I'll also post this video recording to the active World University and School YouTube channel, youtube.com/Scott MacLeod World University, as well as to the two main World University and School Twitters, twitter.com/WORLDUNIVANDSCH and twitter.com/WUAS Press. So to begin, World University and School's monthly business meeting, and this is the sticker with the World University and School URL and some of our main Twitter feeds and the academic bookstore, computer store, robotics store, hospital technologies distribution store, academic press, planned in 7,000 languages with machine translation URLs. As we begin, I'd like to first share agenda item 1, a little bit about developments with WUAS accreditation, potentially with a new relationship with Chase Bank and Chase Credit Card that came via an invitation from Stanford Latino Business Action Network and Chase Bank to a curated coaching session with Jenny Ling of Curated Coaching, and who has an agreement with Chase Bank in these regards. So returning to February of 2023, WUAS accreditation agenda item and minute regarding Middle States Commission on Higher Education accreditation, and some emails from Connie Clifton there. I'd just like to mention some of the criteria for pre-application with Middle States Commission on Higher Education. 1, the institution must be legally authorized or licensed from an appropriate governmental organization or agency to operate as a post-secondary educational institution and must award post-secondary degrees or hold proper legal exemption in accordance with requirement of affiliation number 1 and federal regulation. So World University and School in these regards received authorization from the state of Pennsylvania's Department of Education to for licensing, but hasn't paid the fees yet to the state of Pennsylvania's Department of Education around this time, February or January of 2023. And so in some ways, we would proceed with this pre-application with Middle States Commission on Higher Education, which works in parallel with the state of Pennsylvania's Department of Education, and where Middle States Commission on Higher Education has offices in the greater Philadelphia, Pennsylvania area. We would proceed if we had the monies for, as I understand it at the time, $5,000 to Pennsylvania state of Pennsylvania's Department of Education, and $1,500 to Middle States Commission on Higher Education for a pre-applicant fee, and another $5,000 for an applicant fee to Middle States Commission on Higher Education. And perhaps this will emerge in further collaboration, communication with Chase Bank, Chase Credit Card here in Pittsburgh, and particularly the one in the Shadyside community of Pittsburgh on Walnut Street or South Aiken Street. So the further requirements that Connie Clifton shared with us in February include item number 6. The institution must have documented financial resources, funding base, and plans for financial development, including those from any related entities, including without limitation systems, religious sponsorship, and corporate ownership, adequate to support its educational purposes and programs, and to ensure financial stability. This is something that may well emerge with our communications with Jenny Ling of Curated Coaching in her and related agreements with Chase Bank, Chase Credit Card. This is an exciting development for World University and School. Stay tuned. So on yesterday, I went into the Chase Bank in Shadyside community of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and talked with the bank manager again, briefly, Shauna McNally, and some other people there whom I had met a week before. And it seems as if in building this business relationship that with Jenny Ling having a curative coaching relationship with potentially me at World University and School and an agreement with Chase Bank, that we may well find our ways to getting monies and business plans for this emerging accreditation pre-applicant opportunity. This is exciting. This is a first significant step in World University and School's accreditation seeking, which began in some ways in 2012, 2013, looking into accrediting in California with Bureau for Private Post-Secondary Education, and licensure and accreditation with WUaS Senior, Western Association of Schools and Colleges Senior, which accredits Stanford, and the 10 University of Californias and other universities and colleges in California and on the West Coast and some internationally. So agenda item 1A, accreditation. Here's a set of Twitter posts. With a newly emerging WUAS business plan and regarding WUAS accreditation with green light from Middle States Commission on Higher Education with offices in the greater Philadelphia area, with a business plan per their Connie Clifton, and the other agenda and the other items above in agenda item 1 from Middle States Commission on Higher Education regarding pre-applicant minimum requirements. World University and School is excited to further matriculate online students, and even from Middle States Commission on Higher Education's states for free WUAS degrees. So they, Middle States Commission on Higher Education accredits colleges and universities in primarily Pennsylvania, Maryland, Delaware, New York, and New Jersey, as well as Washington, D.C., and Puerto Rico, and also the US Virgin Islands. Could we begin to matriculate students from all of these 5 states and the District of Columbia, and even get reimbursement back from their departments of education for something along the lines of what it costs to go to MIT itself per year in these 5 US states, for example, to begin, and then the 50 US states, and potentially all departments of education in all 200 countries. I'll just briefly touch on some communications with Chase Bank branch manager, Shauna McNally in Shadyside community of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and Shona Demas, the associate banker there, and Jenny Ling, curated coach in collaboration with Chase Bank, Chase Credit Card, and Stanford Latino Business Action Network, LBAN, to share with you news-wise as well some of the related possible business developments that World University and School is seeking to grow. So good to talk briefly about MIT OpenCourseWare-centric Wiki World University and School, for one, and for two, the WUaS Corporation, and see below, the WUaS Corporation is a for-profit general stock company in the state of California as a legal entity, and World University and School, on the other hand, is a 501c3 federally in the US as a legal entity, and also an exempt legal entity in the state of California as a third legal entity. So good to talk briefly about MIT OpenCourseWare-centric Wiki World University and School, and regarding WUaS seeking to code for all 7.9 billion people on the planet, each a Wikidata PIN number from here, wiki.worlduniversityandschool.org/wiki /u_at_world_university, and to facilitate free online MIT OpenCourseWare-centric World University and School degrees and Wiki schools for open teaching and learning for speakers of all 7,168 known living languages, and potentially to end poverty worldwide with something like UBI experiments, with something like Stanford MindPi cryptocurrency, possibly, as we code for 7.9 billion people and create these communities of learning online, people to people, for speakers of all 7,168 known living languages, and then code for all 7.9 billion people, growing from there in 200 countries. So PS, I'm sending you one Pi. Pi is a new digital currency developed by Stanford PhDs with over 47 million members worldwide. To claim your Pi and your free money daily by mining it every 24 hours, follow this link, mindpi.com/SGKMAC, and use my username as your invitation code. And a related set of tweets, #EndPoverty worldwide, here with MindPi cryptocurrency for all 7.9 billion people on the planet at World University. So in a related email to Shauna McNally, Shona Demas, and Jenny Ling, and another development, and regarding meeting with Jenny Ling in a video call 2 Fridays ago, with the introduction via Stanford's Latino Business Action Network, LBAN, we explored specifically beginning online World University and School universities in Spanish for free online degrees in the 25 Spanish language countries out of about 200 countries, and per the Olympics. And regarding the Spanish language wiki school at World University and School, and the Spain World University and School, and the Mexico World University and School, at World University and School, all wiki subjects at this point in their beginning stages. And where the Spanish language wiki subject is also planned in Spanish. It's currently only in English. And this is another big business development for physical digital WUAS educational services stores, so retail, in all 25 Spanish language countries out of 200. And especially to end poverty with something like Stanford MindPi cryptocurrency. mindpi.com/SGKMAC is where you can begin to get your own free money daily by mining it daily. And also not only for speakers in these 25 countries out of 200 Spanish official language countries, but also for speakers in all 200 countries in the world. And agenda item 2C, in a related development to accreditation, following up with Shona McNally and Jenny Ling, glad World University and School now may be able to build out a business plan and establish a banking relationship, and especially regarding Middle States Commission on Higher Education accreditation for WUAS with offices in the greater Philadelphia area, and licensure with the state of Pennsylvania's Department of Education. CC4 licensed MIT OpenCourseWare centric Wiki World University and School has received the green light from both, but needs to develop a business plan per Middle States Commission on Higher Education Communications with Mrs. Connie Clifton, and figure out how to pay the initial, I think, accreditation fees of $1,500 pre-application fee and $5,000 application fee to MISH, and the $5,000 licensure fee to the state of Pennsylvania, and where MISH serves and accredits universities in PA, NY, DE, NJ, MD, Washington, DC, Puerto Rico, and the US Virgin Islands, and with which this WUS MISH accreditation, World University and School will be able to seek reimbursement from the state's departments of education and others for online free WUS degrees for students from their homes, potentially $55,000 per year per student in the rich countries out of approximately 200 countries, and regarding what it costs to go to MIT itself. So World University and School is seeking to build out a business plan with Chase Bank, Shadyside, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, further in these regards. And also see the very last agenda item D, in the other wing, WS Corporation, at the end of this hour. Just checking to see if people might want to join us. Not yet. Agenda item 3, on the World University and School MIT OpenCourseWare centric free degree side, 501c3 nonprofit public charity legal entity, as well as an exempt legal entity in California. So agenda item 3, CC4 licensed MIT OpenCourseWare centric Wiki World University and School and I were able to initiate a Geico homeowners insurance quote for or on the 670 Ridgecrest Road, P.O. Box 442, Canyon, California, 94516 property, and for moving potentially the World University and School Academic Medical Center with virtual warm water cure with WS Longevity Genetics Institute forward into this address. This is exciting and momentous to be able to get a potential homeowner's insurance quote for this property in Canyon, California, 94516, about 8 miles southeast of Berkeley in the San Francisco Bay Area. So agenda item 4 has to do with extreme longevity genetics emerging and aging reversal genetics emerging, And even regarding a conversation with Google Bard, generative conversational AI with machine learning about longevity genetics in a fascinating way. So item 4A, thanks George Church for sharing this prize opportunity, this xprize.org opportunity, a large sum of money for longevity genetics research. And also regarding Dr. Rhonda Patrick's video, asking these questions. Is there a limit to human longevity? Theoretically, no. And could humans live forever? Statistically, yes. And potentially also in a realistic virtual Earth or regarding a realistic virtual Earth for genetics. And think Google Street View with TimeSlider, with TensorStore. And this is a set of tweets. And check out Rhonda Patrick's video in these regards. And another related set of tweets. Is there a limit to human longevity? No. Dr. Rhonda Patrick 2022 video. Could humans live forever? Yes. Potentially also with a realistic virtual Earth for genetics. And to potentially pump more Yamanaka factors vaccine through our minds, our bodies, for adding genes, ? And conceptually. These are interesting possibilities regarding aging reversal and longevity genetics. Agenda item 4B is a related set of tweets. If the first aging reversal extreme longevity genetic therapies might not be available, FDA approved, before 2030, back to #calorie restriction with good nutrition, which can extend life 10 to 15% across species. And there's a Harvard article from September 27th, 2007 in the Harvard Gazette. In order to live until 2030, interesting potential to plan to live to when FDA approved aging reversal and extreme longevity genetic drug therapies emerge. Agenda item 4C. In a related vein, set of tweets, Harvard Medical School professor of genetics George Church and Dr. Rhonda Patrick at Found My Fitness Twitter feed. Are you suggesting infinite birthdays ahead might become a reality with extreme longevity genetic drugs emerging? And see Rhonda Patrick's video. And my blog, scott-mccloud.blogspot.com, the time label, capital TIME. And also regarding avatar agent electronic health records, where we might have electronic health records with avatars of us as digital twins, and where the agent aspect of this becomes iterating artificial intelligence and machine learning might become our personal medical doctors telling us or suggesting to us what genes to add as researchers discover more genes to add for both aging reversal and extreme longevity. An avatar agent electronic health record could go in many interesting other different directions in these regards as well. Regarding agent as perhaps an assistant or AI assistant or machine learning assistant as these develop in remarkable ways. Agenda item 4D, Google Bard generative conversational AI and extreme longevity, and improving one's German with Google Bard 2. Here's the hallucinatory Google Bard generative AI on life-extending gene therapies in German, and it's in 2 blog posts of today's World University and School monthly business meeting agenda for 12/16/2023. I'll just read the beginning of Google Bard's response to my question about extending life-extending gene therapies. So in German, hallo, kurz gesagt, ja, es ist möglich, dass Menschen länger als 122 Jahre alt werden können, wenn wir das Altern verlangsamen können. Also die derzeitige Lebenserwartung in Deutschland liegt bei etwa 82 Jahren für Männer und 85 Jahren für Frauen. Die älteste bekannte Person war Jean Calment aus Frankreich, die 122 Jahre und 164 Tage alter wurde. So Google Bard's response goes on for another 10 or so short paragraphs, sentence paragraphs. Get out Google Translate and check it out. Fascinating response. And what I asked in German was, and in order to improve my German, so I was typing on my Android smartphone this question: Hallo Bart, wäre es möglich, dass Menschen länger als 122 Jahre alt mit Zeitalter verlangsamen Drogen, je nachdem Harvard-Professor der Genetik George Church leben können? And roughly translated, hello Bard, would it be possible for people to live longer than 122 years of age with life extension drugs, according and per the Harvard professor of genetics, George Church? Google Bard, machine learning, conversational generative AI is offering very helpful, informative responses in these regards to questions about aging, reversal genetics, and longevity genetics as well, extreme longevity genetics. So agenda item 4E, another set of tweets. It has to do with what kind of societies do we want to live in if we can begin to live longer than 122 years of age. So the set of tweets reads, with aging, reversal, and extreme longevity genetic therapies emerging and FDA approved, such that 7.9 billion people of us can live longer than 122 years old, maybe much longer, what kind of societies do we want to live in? And exploring this in World University and School monthly business meeting. So this is something that I hope we can explore also in our wiki subjects, in our wiki schools, and perhaps in public forums with time at World University and School in video calls and potentially on the ground as well. Stay tuned. And agenda item 4F, this is in a related vein, and is a set of tweets to Professors Eleanor Carlson at ENORC and George Church at GeoChurch. How Professors Eleanor Carlson and George Church can World University and School best come into conversation with you about new genetics and regarding aging, reversal, extreme longevity, avatar agent electronic health records for humans and dogs and mice, and also regarding World University and School's planned clinical trials for speakers of all 7,168 known living languages, say packets through the mail in all 200 countries, at Harvard Medical School, where George Church is based, and at UMass Medical School, where Eleanor Carlson has potentially connections, knowledge of. She's a professor at UMass Chan, I think, and working with dogs and genetics. especially. So the question here is how to begin further avatar agent electronic health records for humans and dogs and mice, and not only for the electronic health records aspect of for humans and genetically focused, but also for clinical trials. And could such electronic health records with avatar agents become ways to encode data for veterinary medicine, for dogs and mice, for example, and these three mammal species in particular in this time of great developments with aging reversal genetic drug therapies and extreme longevity genetic drug therapies, and with the great similarities between humans and dogs and mice, but also the great differences, and for learning interspecies wise, and also regarding at the, for example, Google cell view level and Google molecule view level in a Google Street View with time slider environment with TensorFlow AI, and as informing avatar agent electronic health records, with perhaps little Pegman in Google Street View becoming our avatar agent electronic health record as a digital twin. And for aging reversal and extreme longevity genetics, or physical digital conversation. So agenda item 5, a realistic virtual Earth for history, and regarding the Brown University archives, and also Peter Norvig's birthday on December 14th, 2023. I followed up after about a month and a half and 2 months with the Brown University archive and regarding how the development of a realistic virtual Earth for history, think Google Street View with time slider, where we can all add our own pictures, and where perhaps the Brown University archives would, with artificial intelligence and machine learning, contribute to adding all their pictures, videos, images, textual resources into something like Google Street View with time slider, is going. And because I sent these inquiries, I think in the middle of October. And in this inquiry that I sent as a case example, regarding some pictures I took of 58 Thayer Street House in Providence, Rhode Island, near the Brown University campus, how might we build out hippie communes around Brown University in the 1960s and 1970s in Google Street View with time slider, in emerging virtual reality, in a realistic virtual Earth for history, both as individuals and Brown University archives. And how could I and others and Brown libraries, plus say all 10 University of California libraries and all the Ivy League libraries and all the US states, main libraries for universities that have digital archives, best wiki-add all their hippie commune photography from the 1960s and 1970s with artificial intelligence, also to Google Street View with time slider, and even make this conversationally interactive. So for example, pictures of hippies transformed into conversational avatar agents, such that we could learn about history or hang out with these hippies from our own home computers, and for an iterating realistic virtual Earth for history. And again, might I be able to newly add the 5 pictures from 58 Thayer Street, Providence, Rhode Island on October 12th, 2023 to Google Street View. And I donated these pictures to the Brown University archives back in mid-October, partly to further the questions about licensing and giving to the Brown University Library. I would like to give them as Creative Commons, maybe 4 Creative Commons licensed photos that could also inform World University and Schools libraries, in addition to Brown University archives, helping to create a realistic virtual Earth for history. So could these 5 photos, and as an example, be both licensed to Brown University archives, to the World University and School Library resources, and to me, Creative Commons licensed, as a way of working through these issues in information technology and licensing. And as a PS, I recently learned from LEGO customer service, and regarding Peter Norvig's LEGO Institute 2 also, that we may be able to eventually build LEGO robots to move through Google Street View with a time slider, hence this Google Street View focus for hippie communes in the 1960s and 70s around Providence, around Brown University in Providence, Rhode Island. And build LEGO robots not only to move through Google Street View with a time slider, but also physically on the ground, and possibly to take pictures for such a realistic virtual Earth for history, or our matriculating students at World University and School, or our Brown University matriculated students to take pictures for history from on the ground and add them with artificial intelligence and machine learning also to Google Street View for research. So I heard back from a Brown University Archives librarian, Jennifer Betts, and she was asking, she couldn't access the pictures again that I donated, so I'll send them to her again. And she was saying that the Brown University Archives doesn't really have the resources, I think, to develop the IT infrastructure. Well, just yesterday, a YouTube video popped up on my smartphone with winners of Google VR and AR, virtual reality and artificial or augmented reality, winners of the geospatial challenge. So these were about 10 winners of different aspects of the Google Geospatial Challenge from around the world, I think, who had done interesting things with virtual reality and augmented reality. One of the prize winners I saw had done images of, put together something in Geospatial Creator of the Sutro Baths in San Francisco, which it looked like some historical pictures, which could parallel in fascinating ways and inform my ongoing interest in creating a realistic virtual Harbin Hot Springs in Google Street View with Time Slider. And for history, time slide back to 1972 at Harbin Hot Springs and enter into this world in a realistic virtual Earth for history in Google Street View with Time Slider, or time slide back to the 1920s at the Sutro Baths in San Francisco, which we might also build together as individual historians from our computers around the world in conjunction with Brown University. And further, regarding robotics, which could help take pictures and help create these worlds, also I learned just on Thursday or Friday that, and from asking Google Bard Artificial Intelligence, that the LEGO WeDo 2 robots and the robotics kit, which is for kids, but I have a set, has new software, version 1.10.167, which apparently work in Google Street View. So this new software version for LEGO WeDo 2 robotics kits works in Google Street View. But Lego customer support says so far that Lego WeDo 2 software works only on Chromebooks and Android tablets. So I created a set of tweets also adding that I haven't found yet a hashtag WeDo2 robot videos in Street View. So I think this software is very new. I think the potential is great that Lego Education is building out this software for Chromebooks and Android tablets for all of its versions of Lego robotics kits, which might interact with each other. Everything from WeDo to Lego Spike Prime robotics kits to Lego Mindstorms, even though 2 of those have been retired, as potentially the software for a realistic virtual Earth for robotics in one realistic virtual Earth with a physical Lego robot, virtual Lego robot conversation is emerging in this case. Great. And in exploring this, I also retweeted a gorilla robot that I made in May of 2023 from the Lego WeDo 2.0 robotics kit, where the tweet reads, set of tweets reads, higher primate robot walks, vocalizes, and eats bananas, build with WeDo 2.0 and Scratch programming language. Could we create physical robots in, for example, WeDo 2.0, such as this gorilla robot, and also create them in a virtual Google Street View with time slider environment, such that these higher primate robots could walk up to the Harbin Hot Springs gatehouse in Google Street View with time slider. We could learn how to create robots and code them further with Scratch programming language in an emerging Lego robotics kits with Google Street View environment. This is exciting. So agenda item 7, World University and Schools Wiki Schools are growing. And you can wiki teach and wiki learn at WUaS, especially by clicking edit. And here are some recent additions. And I'll just read some of the pages that I added things. Many are sets of tweets to the longevity wiki subject, to the rock and roll wiki subject, to the Grateful Dead rock and roll band wiki subject, to the robotics wiki subject, to the machine learning wiki subject, to the artificial intelligence wiki subject, to the yoga wiki school, to the 3 Quaker-related wiki schools, Quakers-Religious Society of Friends, secondly, Peace and Social Justice Studies, and thirdly, non-theist friends, atheist Quakers, ? Wiki subjects, to the programming wiki subject, to the history wiki subject, to the virtual worlds wiki school or subject, to the new aging reversal genetics wiki subject, and also edited the main subjects wiki subject, as well as the World University and Music School, and blues, so wiki school or wiki subject, in English only so far, but planning to be in all 7,000 languages, and the blues piano wiki subject. These edits all go back, and additions and open teachings and learnings go back to the 17th of November, 2023. Feel free to start teaching. Add a YouTube video that you find is excellent, or create a set of tweets and add them there, or add a book title to a subject you know and love, or begin a new wiki subject at World University and School, and see if there's any MIT OpenCourseWare courses, and add those. So agenda item 8, WUS robotics. So this relates to the above conversation, but I'll reiterate it. Lego WeDo 2, the robotics kit, has a new software update, 1.10.167, that Lego is still writing, I think, allowing people to create and code robots that move through Google Street View, or so I've heard. So a set of tweets that relates. I learned today from Google Bard, generative conversational AI software, that Lego WeDo 2 robotics kit has a new software update, that 1.10.167, that Lego is still writing, allowing people to create and code robots that move through Google Street View. Cool. How to add this or into hashtag realistic virtual earth for Lego robotics. And this would complement some recent sharing from Google AI of remarkable machine learning developments for quadruped robots that are virtual. And I think I can, let's see, it was from Piobaireachd and Wenhao. And you had a quadruped robot in this Twitter post from Google AI that in the virtual form was able to move from being a quadruped up to a biped and do some related space walk or a kind of very free-form dancing that had to do with language to rewards skills synthesis related to, in some ways, machine learning that allows us as coders and end users, I think, to use language to train our robots in new ways, in exciting ways, that has much relevance for this physical robotics with Lego robotics, with virtual Lego robotics that might further emerge in a realistic virtual Earth for Lego robotics in a Google Street View with Time Slider, Google Earth, Google Maps, TensorFlow AI, Little Pegman even, Google Translate environment. I'll add these two sets of Twitter posts about Google's AI in these regards soon to this agenda and news for the 12/16 World University and School Monthly Business Meeting, which is happening now. And I'm going to switch to the other wing of World University and School, the second of two WUAS wings, the WUaS Corporation, the WUaS Press, with the URL presently of worlduniversityandschool.org/academicpress.html. 4 agenda items. So regarding the WUaS Corporation, and WUaS Corporation and Stanford MindPy cryptocurrency partnering further, and in WUaS planning to code for all 7.9 billion people on the planet, each a Wikidata PIN number, and to end poverty in all 200 countries, along with large language models schools for communities of speakers of all 7,168 known living languages. I've recently gotten further in touch with Stanford MindPy cryptocurrency and Swaroop Pudel, who I think is part of the Pi network in these regards. And regarding also a new Pi, Stanford MindPy cryptocurrency roadmap, very helpful set of communications and website for upcoming and also a history of developments with Stanford MindPy. Also regarding new developments for merchants using Stanford MindPy, with some Twitter posts about that too in the past week. So the letter I sent to Swaroop Pudel and Pi support from some months ago is in the agenda and news. Check it out. I also, in this letter, reached out to John Hennessy, the former president of Stanford for 16 years and now the chair of Alphabet, and to Peter Norvig, a head of Google AI, and to Hank Greeley, a Stanford law professor, in these regards. Adding some of my responses to the questionnaire regarding this new Pi roadmap. I've posted my responses to the roadmap in this World University and School agenda and news for 12/16, which I posted on Thursday, December 14th, 2 days ago, 2023. Check them out. World University and School is seeking to proceed with partnering with Stanford MindPi as we code for 7.9 billion people on the planet in 200 countries, speakers of all 7,168 known living language, just to make help facilitate making Stanford MindPi a main single cryptocurrency worldwide, and from you at World University. So further, agenda item B, this is a visionary agenda item, and regarding WUAS translation, and also the next Whole Earth catalog, and a set of tweets about this. The next Whole Earth catalog came out in 1981 as a second edition, and the Whole Earth catalog was first published in 1968, and was a very visionary publication in the late 60s and in the 70s and the 80s, that I think helped bring hippies more into conversation with each other in fascinating ways in those years, and perhaps still does. So I'll read the set of the set of tweets. So I was dipping into the next Whole Earth catalog, Access to Tools, edited by Stuart Brandt, second edition, October 81, first edition, 1968, and listening to Pink Floyd's Comfortably Numb rock and roll song at the same time, and thinking about further the WUAS Press, at WUAS Press, publishing in 7,168 languages regarding my first book, Naked Harbin Ethnography, at Harbin Book on Twitter, and how there are many parallels in some ways between my Naked Harbin Ethnography, hippies, counterculture, clothing optionality, virtual Harbin book published in 2016, and the next Whole Earth catalog, Access to Tools, and wondering how World University and School could make access to ideas and access to tools through this academic press, which the next Whole Earth catalog was a remarkable expression of publication, available in all 7,168 known living languages, as well as many, many other tens of thousands of upcoming academic books published with machine translation at World University and School Press into all 200 countries, official and main languages, and into all 7,168 known living languages too, potentially, both physically and digitally. And not only physically to books, but potentially to a new new format, new digital technologies, hardware, which would, at the academic press for World University and School, which would involve creating a realistic virtual Harbin hot springs digitally, maybe in digital glasses, digital brainwave headset, and for research as well. and even a multimedia room where you could have MIT Media Lab like projection cameras and lights creating virtual reality in our rooms with holograms, for example. Interesting sets of possibilities that might emerge from this academic press at World University and School, coming into conversation with Stuart Brand's as editor, the Next Whole Earth catalog, access to students. I was glad that Stuart Brand himself on Twitter actually liked some of this set of tweets. Fascinating that this conversation that could be said to emerge in the late in the 70s and the late 60s, and in 81 with this Next Whole Earth catalog, access to tools, and World University and School as wiki schools in all 7,168 known living languages and for free MIT OpenCourseware centric degrees, emerges possibly in conversation with this Next Whole Earth catalog, access to tools, and hundreds and thousands of publications from the 1960s and 70s, and a whole culture, counterculture that developed then. So agenda item C on the WS Press side, the WS Corp side, Society, Information Technology, and the Global University, upcoming book. The academic press at World University and School's next book, Society, Information Technology, and the Global University book is growing, which I'm writing, and should be available in early 2024, and is based on these videos. I share the 8 video links to some talks I gave when I was here in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania in 2007, about 15 or 16 years ago, and which will inform the first 8 chapters of this book I'm writing. And then I'll further write some chapters that focus on the emerging global university idea, including World University and School. And lastly, in the remaining 3 minutes that we have, agenda item D, this is also an email to Shauna McNally, the Chase Bank manager, bank branch manager, Shadyside, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and Shona Damus, the associate banker there, and Jenny Ling, contacting the curated coaching coach with an agreement with JP Morgan, Chase Bank, Chase Credit Card, and also via an invitation from Stanford Latino Business Action Network, LBAN. And regarding also Sean Flaherty, a friend from the second half of the 1970s of mine, from Shadyside Academy High School, and also a lawyer who has offices on Walnut Street in the Shadyside community of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, at the other end of Walnut Street commercial area from the Chase Bank, Shadyside, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and about starting some flagship World University and School stores, like Lego robotics stores. And I'm holding up a Lego robot build that I made, which works with sensors. This sensor on top, when it runs with the program, opens, creates new ways of seeing what the sensor is seeing, in a sense, in the computer program. And here's a little flower with, which could be a sensor object, an object that the sensor perceives. So since World University and School is an authorized reseller of Lego robotics kits, and has been so since around 2015 in the USA, and is seeking to grow WS educational stores services stores with Lego robotics in all 200 countries, but were only authorized initially, I think, back in 2015 in the USA. We would like to develop potentially a flagship store on Walnut Street itself in the old Williams-Sonoma building, possibly, if that's a good idea, if that's a good location. And for WS Lego Robotics books, educational services, including computers and even groceries, potentially food for students, as well as maybe a cafe. So selling kits like Lego Spike Prime, and potentially posting on the windows something like MIT OpenCourseWare centric free World University and School degrees, where Allegheny County would reimburse World University and School for all the students that matriculated at World University and School from the greater Pittsburgh area per student per year, possibly something like 55,000 a year, that would, where students potentially would have a significant Lego robotics building focus, and even in Google Street with TimeSlider and with the Scratch programming language, in STEAM-related majors, science, technology, engineering, arts, mathematics, and from home for free degrees. So studying online from home. And could this old Williams-Sonoma store become the Lego Robotics WS Educational Services store flagship? And could we, in a parallel way, develop a Lego Robotics, a WS Educational Services store with Lego Robotics kits featured and MIT OpenCourseWare-centric free degrees on the front in the just closed Walmart store in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, in the Waterworks Mall near Fox Chapel. So the Walmart store would be a large World University and School educational services retail store, and the Williams-Sonoma possible storefront would be a mid-sized World University and School educational services store, physical, digital, both. So the email I sent in these regards just yesterday, and I brought in this Lego robot to the Chase Bank branch in Shadyside yesterday as well. The email I shared with Shauna McNally and Shona Demas and Jenny Ling yesterday was greetings with some encouragement to develop further a business relationship with you at Chase, Shauna McNally, Chase Bank branch manager, Shadyside, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, but not being able to talk with JP Morgan's Chase's curated coaching coach, Jenny Ling, possibly until the next quarterly curated coaching meeting per Jenny Ling's agreement with them. And thanks to Shona Demas, another associate banker at the Chase Bank in Shadyside, for asking if I had a business card a few days before yesterday when I went into the Chase Bank, where I could only show Shona and Shauna the World University and School sticker, which looks like this, on the outside of my laptop computer about a week ago. I did find some cards, and this is a Scottish bagpiping card with my 412 area code on it. And here it is in the video. And also a bookmark for my first book, mentioning the academic press at World University and School. And here's the bookmark in the video. And also on the mantelpiece behind me, which came out in 2016, and where the academic press is a startup press planned in 7,168 known living languages, and with machine learning and machine translation, both cards being quite colorful. And they're from some years ago. So I brought them in and gave Shona Demas a number of them, both of them for people who worked in the Chase Bank. And also included, I'm curious too about beginning the very first, possibly flagship WUAS educational services store for WS Lego robotics kits for matriculating Pittsburgh students for free to students MIT open courseware centric WUS degrees on Walnut Street in the old Williams-Sonoma building as a mid-sized store, and possibly also a large flagship WUAS educational services store in the old Walmart storefront, now closed in the Waterworks Mall near Fox Chapel. And here's a blog post about this mentioning Sean Flaherty, a Shadyside High School friend from the second half of the 1970s, also who was in the state of Pennsylvania's House of Representatives in around, ending in around 2006, and who has law offices at the other end of Walnut Street from your Chase Bank. This is an interesting opportunity. Could Chase Bank, with their vast resources, they have something like 240,000 employees, and they're in more than 60 countries out of 200 countries, help create these WS educational services stores, and even on Walnut Street at the old Williams-Sonoma building, as part of this business plan writing that will lead to World University and School accrediting also with potentially Middle States Commission on Higher Education and the state of Pennsylvania's Department of Education. So that's the news and agenda for today. I'll post this to the current YouTube channel, youtube.com/Scott MacLeod World University, as well as to the two main Twitter feeds and the other 4 Twitter feeds as well, twitter.com/WORLDUNIVANDSCH and twitter.com/WUAS Press. If you have questions or know of students who might like to matriculate at World University and School for free MIT open courseware centric degrees from any of 200 countries in the world, from any of 50 US states in the world, as we accredit further, please let sgkmacleod@worlduniversityandschool.org know. worlduniversityandschool.org is our main webpage right now, our homepage. Until Monday, which is just 2 days from now, December 18th, 2023, at 10 a.m. Eastern Time for the next WUAS News and Question and Answer. Signing off for World University and School's monthly business meeting today, Saturday, December 16th, 2023. Until next time, have a good week. Happy New Year, and these will continue throughout the next few weeks as well. These WS News and Question and Answer and regarding free MIT open courseware centric World University and Schools emerging degrees for online meetings and video calls. Until next time, bye for now.